You want to just explain what that means? That it looks like it could have come from nothing?
Well, we live in a universe of 400 billion galaxies, each containing 100 billion stars. There's a lot of stuff out there. And all common sense tells us that all that stuff couldn't come from nothing without some supernatural shenanigans. It seems to violate the laws of physics. But what we've discovered is that, in fact, it's possible. In fact, the total energy of the universe could be zero, which is a first clue that maybe it could come from nothing.
There is self-evident knowledge that every human is born with. Allah said in the Quran, "Our Lord is the one who created everything and guided them." How is it possible to have this kind of information or software built-in knowledge that we are born with? Self-evident knowledge is that we know and that is not untaught. Like the part is less than a whole. That every created thing has a creator. The reality that past exists. That 1 + 1 is 2. So therefore, how these things came about? Many atheists can explain these things, and the way they attempted to explain it is by saying that we learn these things from our senses. For example, they say 1 apple + 1 apple is 2. Or by seeing someone push a car and then it goes forward, then the next time you see a moving car, you would think someone pushed it. This is called the law of causality, that everything has a cause. Or they say, when you see a small cake and a full cake, you realize that a small is less than a whole, and so forth. By having this kind of thinking, atheists unfortunately turned everything upside down, and they made the input data equal to the software that already installed. Atheists are thinking the more input data in the computer, the more it will develop to become a software. So let's say I put 2 rows of numbers in an Excel spreadsheet. Will the computer automatically develop these numbers into a graph? In order to develop it into a graph, you must have a software or an algorithm to be already installed in the computer. So the software takes these input numbers and develop it into an output graph. Our question to the atheist: how is this program in the human body there from the first place? Okay, so you're saying we learned these facts by observation. Okay, what about the law of causality that we mentioned earlier? That if you see a moving toy, you think someone pushed it. Then who created the universe? Atheists try to delete our basic logical thinking by saying for each thing that is observable, it must have a cause. And some even went to the extent to say that it's not necessary to think every cause must has an effect, and the two can be 2 separate phenomena, that they could have come after each other, and it's not necessary to say that each and every effect must have a cause. Look to the point that Lawrence Krauss wrote a book, Universe Came From Nothing.
But what we've discovered is that, in fact, it's possible. In fact, the total energy of the universe could be zero, which is a first clue that maybe it could come from nothing.
So who is not using their logic here? The whole universe came from nothing? Or it created itself? By trying to apply the logic of atheists, we can arrive at the notion that a cause of the universe is nothing, and nothing can be called an absolute fact. And we could try to run away from each fact by coming up with this illogical explanation for it. And therefore, empirical science is out of the window. How can we say that HIV causes AIDS? The two can be non-related to each other. Who said that acid plus base is equal to salt and water? The two could came from each other, and no such thing as a cause and effect. Who said that virus causes a flu? They can be 2 non-related events. And if we discover a new disease, there is no point to spend millions of dollars to see where it came from, because it could be like the universe. It came from nothing. So, and if you crash into someone else's car, you could come out of the car and tell them, by the way, the damage that occurred to your car, it's not necessarily related to my car hitting yours. And medicine is not the reason for the cure. As you guys see, with this notion, with this mentality, atheists have deleted all science that they believe in today, which is the one thing that they solely believe in. If you have questions about Islam, ask a Muslim.